Hi guys, Currency Games here with another video. Today we're gonna do our review for the week coming, which is next week. Last week's trading, there wasn't really much to execute on. Really, I didn't even take any trades last week. To be fair, it's a quiet week. So it's just one of those things. The price action was just a bit boring. The only place we possibly could have got something was in this fair value gap here. But again, the PA wasn't the cleanest, and I was hoping that the H4 would come down into this FVG as well, but that we just didn't get anything from there. So kind of a boring week. If we had tapped this into this FVG last week, we possibly would have got something more. There wasn't really anything to go off on Eurusd, and then Eurgbp again. We had this fair value gap here marked out. Looking back at it, to be fair, there was a clean M15 set up here, possibly, and also a clean H1, even clean H1 set up. But again, we just didn't really get involved in it. But then again, the analysis was there of this fair value gap to go higher. If you remember last week, we talked about this area here, and then that played out quite nicely. So just something to put in the journals and log for your next trades. You know what I'm saying? So we did have one possible setup here we could have gotten into. But again, it wasn't. Just didn't get into it. I don't have any excuse. I just didn't get into it. To be fair, I'm not gonna lie. But the analysis was there, and we did call it out last week. Anyway, going into the price action for this week, start from the weekly time frame. As you can see, the weekly time frame, the EU is looking quite bullish. Let me get rid of the annotations for now. As you can see, the previous week we had dipped down into this order block, and you see we had a nice pin back upwards. The majority of the candle here was a wick, which shows there was some sort of what word should I use? There was some liquidity in this candle where we rejected from to go bullish. It did hold a support, should I say, which is a better term, to be fair. So when we see candles push upwards, we need to look at area of resistance where price not necessarily could reverse, but an area to target, should I say. If we look here now, this is where I'd be looking, me personally. We have equal highs almost here. Yes, this one came a bit above it, but in the grand scheme of things, they are equal enough. And we have an ordered block resting here as well. And you could also say it's a breaker zone, or LP, whatever you want to call it, resting here as well. So we could be targeting this as an area of support, not for it to necessarily reverse, but just something to target and then wait for further action to see if price does push beyond this point. Going out to the daily time frame, you can see that area that's even cleaner as well. Going into daily, we have nice decent structure here. As you can see, we came down into this area here, and we pushed up quite violently, to be fair. And we broke structure, so we are long term, we are clear bullish, to be fair. Going down time frames now, not even going down yet, but staying on the daily, sorry, we can expect a possible retracement. Hopefully it possibly into this order block, or with the fair value gap here, but I'd be mainly eyeing up this order block here. In all honesty, you could say these two candles here for the order block, but just for accuracy purposes, I'm gonna do that. And I might just mark out the fair value gap here as well, just in case it does come to that. There. Okay, so we have these two levels here to be watching out for on a daily time frame. On the H12, the structure isn't as clean, but you can still see this low here was where majority of the bullish price action came from. So this would be our range. Even though we have a fractal low here, some people might say this is market structure for me, market structure low for the H12, but I wouldn't use this point. I mean, it could still go bullish from here, but the way I would look at it would be using the daily time frame just for more accuracy, and because it looks much cleaner. And at the end of the day, it's a higher time frame. Okay, going down to the H4 now. This is where we need to see some sort of confirmations to show possible bearish price on the daily retracement. Now, we do have an order block here. I only marked it out just to be aware of it, but I don't expect price to go straight bearish from there. Ideally, what I'd want to see is a possible raid of this high to then go bearish and possibly attack the fair value gap and the order block. And that high here that we would raid would also be a daily play, because that is that if that high does remain on Monday and we don't attack it and we create a fractal high here, that high would be a daily play if we do raid it to go bearish. Okay, one more thing we should actually mark out here as well, I didn't mark this out, is that little fair value gap there as well. Didn't even see that till just now. It's good to mark out these daily levels just in case, you know what I mean. But yeah, that's there as well. To go into the H4, again, it will be interesting if we do stay within a range here on the H4 on Monday and possibly come up here and tap this daily high to go bearish. Another example is, didn't see that fair value gap before down here on the daily. Another example could be a possible push down into that daily fair value gap, raid the H4 low here as well, to then continue bullish, to then attack this high, to then possibly come down on a daily retracement, which would be quite interesting if we did do that. But we just got to wait and see. It's better to react rather than predict in these situations, to be fair, because you never know what price is going to do. You just have to keep on your toes and wait for the correct price action that fits your plan. And then going on to the H1, the reason why I marked out that H4 but it was because it's quite nicely in line with the H1 structure here, so it is quite interesting. We've got a few confluences for this level, but I wouldn't expect too much of it. I wouldn't take trades from it either, to be fair. Anyway, going on to Eurgbp. Now on a week in Eurgbp, you can see last week we raided this high here off this fair value gap. Now if we look at the range we are sitting within, we have not yet reached the discount of that range. Okay, so we could expect a possible retracement, possibly down to this fair value gap, since we did take out that weekly high. Going on to the daily time frame, we do need to be a bit careful because we do have a fair value gap here, we have an order block. So in the grand scheme of things, would need to see some significant bearish price action for me to confirm this weekly raid here. Okay, H12 same thing. Imagine what I could see happening hopefully as we break structure here in the H12, get post retracement back up to then continue down to the bearish side and attack the low here and possibly reach down to this fair value gap. But this here is where you have to wait patiently and stay sharp. Again, the same thing on H4. That would be the same low on the H12 if we get a nice MSB retracement and then continuation down to attack the low here and possibly this fair value gap here. That's something I would want to see. That's what I would be looking out for. But we do need to see a market structure break before we do anything, because we could still push up. We can't, as I said, we can't go along with what we think just because we think we know what's going to happen. We have to predict and we have to react, more importantly, to what the market gives us when we open up the charts under the trading week. But that's all for me this week, guys. That's what I'm looking at on Eurusd and Eurgbp. We'll be back again on Monday with a outlook. But yeah, guys, enjoy your weekend, stay safe, and yeah, keep back testing.